What's up, guys? Chimp here with another quick market update, and I'm not going to go through as much data as I typically do because, quite frankly, I don't think it's necessary. A couple days ago, I published a video saying, hey, we could go up, we could go down. I'm still thinking down. Um, Look, I think the odds of us going down are very high right now. And I'm just going to show you two data points. And then we'll go back to the chart actually and talk a little bit about the chart as well. Okay, so let's first talk about two data points. So global open interest above 110 billion. I've talked about this consistently, which is when we went to 90, or sorry, when we went to 123K in um, in July, global open interest was at 90 billion, right? The day that we peaked. And we ranged for a while, and people got a little bit bullish, and it went as high as 105, 106 billion. Then we got this move to 124.5, which looked like a very clean swing failure pattern. And then it rejected. But since then, like global open interest has only been trending up. In fact, we're basically sitting at the highs, despite Bitcoin being like $9,000 below the highs, right? So leverage in the market's at record highs. People are, long as long could be. Um, so to me, this is like huge red flag, huge concern. That's just one of them. Second one is these hyperliquid lick maps. This is one of the most one-sided lick map I've seen in a long time. You look at the short side, right? Like basically there's one guy who's short, and that's what's contributing to this thing looking skewed. But even if we take him into account, let's say Bitcoin's at 115. If we go to 130, there's maybe 6,000 shorts to liquidate. Now, if we go to 100, it's like over 10,000 longs, right? Like, look at how steep this thing is. Like, there's just longs to liquidate all the way down to like 100K. And meanwhile, like, yeah, there's a short to liquidate at 117 for like 400 Bitcoin. And obviously, there's this big guy to liquidate for maybe like 2,000 Bitcoin. But, is there really a lot of people left to liquidate? I don't know. So I think that the market is very overexposed to the long side. Um, in my mind, like what we're seeing right now is complacency, and let's talk about the chart now. So again, we go up, big spike, big move up, market ranges, you get a little flush, then you get this run up, right? And obviously, like this run up at the peak was sort of caused by David Bailey going all in. And I don't want to pull up that tweet, but it's like that tweet should be framed in terms of max hubris, right? But you get this SFP, very clean, you get a sell off, and now you get this complacency shoulder. And we know that we'll see tomorrow, but we know that a good what's the word? A good reason for that was because Metaplanet was buying, another $1 billion of Bitcoin. Stocks have been up only, and so you've had this sort of perfect catalyst. And so I don't know. To me, I think this thing's getting ready to roll over. I think when this does roll over, we're going to see a significant move to the downside. Whether it's 105, like not even 105. What am I smoking? Ultimately, I think this thing's going way lower, and I don't think like I think this is the I don't want to be the doomer here, but I really think that like we're much closer to a cycle top than people think. Like we've had mass euphoria. You have, and the way you sort of think about the way I think about cycle tops, and the way I think about like is has there been enough crime? Has there been enough like people just going ballistic, and so much extractionary behavior? And like the answer to that, in my mind, and obviously people can disagree, is yes. Like look at what the Trumps are doing. Look at like this Aster thing now that Binance is shilling, right? Like you have so much like there's so much hot money that the extractionary behavior has been allowed to grow, and sort of, for a lack of a better word, um, be like in hiding in plain sight. And I think like, and ultimately like as markets go down, like the extractionary behavior will continue and continue and continue until there's nothing left to bleed out of the market. And that's what we saw in 2021. Oh, I'm on a 6-hour chart. It should be on like a weekly chart. don't know why I have a drawing tool open. Not have that open. Okay, so right in 2021, we had the second leg up. Extractionary behavior got crazy, and like, why did we go down so in such a harsh manner? Part of it was FTX. In fact, I think like the reason it was in such a straight line was for a large part due to FTX. But you had a lot of, but FTX was also a huge extractor in the space, and so they were constantly basically offloading crypto to use elsewhere, right? And similar in like 2020, right? Like once extractionary behavior begins, like the trend is just down. And so, yeah, and I could be wrong, but this thing looks horrendous to me. I think we're going way lower. I don't think you want to be buying dips. Um, what would make me change my mind? That is the question. If we go down and open interest wipes out, and it's not even for me. It's not even open interest wiping out. I need to see like several factors to flip my bias. One could be like a very sharp drop. That obviously, if we get like a flash crash, or you don't get the like a quote unquote flash crash anymore, but if we get a steep decline for an extended period of time, that would be one reason for me to flip. Another would be open interest basically nuking out, but it's almost not even enough for open interest to wipe out. You almost want to see people starting to short. Things of that nature. So look, for now, like I'm leaning very bearish. We'll see what the market brings ultimately, but I think like low time frames, mid to mid time frames, we're going to go down. At some point, we're going to flush some of these people, and then we reevaluate. Like that to me is sort of the game plan. Like we're going to get some sort of flush at some point. I don't know exactly what that flush is going to entail, but on the other end of that flush, we'll come out and see whether we want to be buying the dip or want to just continue to be short. So we'll see what happens. I'm quite bearish, and let's see what the market brings us. So until next time, take care, everyone.